As I say, welcome everyone from Spain, Italy, and um, various places in Ireland for today's Change for Good seminar on tailoring corporate social responsibility and employee welfare plans. And in this case, we're looking at using tools, digital tools that are freely available online um, to help do that. And crucially, to help measure the impact of CSR. I've introduced myself in earlier seminars. I'm Conor Patterson, and I'm a partner in this EU project, working with a non-profit based in Dundalk in the Irish Republic, WIN EU. But for this seminar, I've put together some thoughts of my own, and I've recorded those and framed them to help us through a conversation after my comments, which will run for 5 or 7 minutes. So you bear with me. Welcome to today's webinar, where we will explore managing and measuring the impact of ethical investments, particularly using digital tools. In today's highly competitive landscape, the importance of effective cost-benefit management of all investments cannot be overstated. But this is especially important and challenging when there are ethical considerations associated with these investments. We'll begin with an overview of ethical investment models and metrics, delve into the methodologies for measuring impact, and assess real additionality. Explore the tools and KPIs essential for robust reporting and benchmarking practices. Ethical investment, our first point of focus, encapsulates the integration of environmental, social, governance, ESG, criteria in the investment decision making. It's about aligning financial goals with values that prioritize sustainability and ethical standards. We'll discuss various frameworks that guide ethical investment practices, highlighting how ethical considerations are determined and integrated into investment strategies. Central to our discussion is the concept of real additionality. This principle emphasizes the need to measure the actual impact of investments beyond mere compliance or superficial metrics. We explore specific metrics such as carbon capture, community engagement initiatives, and delve into examples like carbon impact and trading schemes to illustrate practical applications. Effective CSR reporting is a cornerstone of best ethical investment practice. It is crucial to transparently communicate CSR impacts to stakeholders, be they employees, investors, consumers, partners, communities, or governmental bodies. Benchmarking plays a pivotal role in this process, enabling companies to compare their efforts not just against industry norms, but also against recognized best practice. It provides a critical perspective on performance and identifies areas for improvement. To aid in these endeavours, we'll introduce you to a curated selection of digital tools that streamline the measurement and management of investments. These tools empower organisations to track KPIs effectively, ensuring transparency and informed decision making across all levels of operations. The following tools cater specifically to the regulatory frameworks and market practices in the UK and EU regions, providing essential support for ethical investment strategies, impact measurement, and sustainability reporting. They enable stakeholders to navigate complex ESG compliance. Let's look at ethical investment models and metrics. The FTSE Russell ESG ratings. These provide ESG ratings and indexes that help investors integrate sustainability factors into their investment decisions. It focuses on companies listed on the London Stock Exchange, the FTSE, and other major European exchanges also. Sustainability Reporting Standards, GRI. These provide guidelines and templates for businesses to report on their sustainability practices, helping them understand and integrate ethical metrics into their investment strategies. To measure impact and assess real additionality, well, we can use Impact Management Project, or IMP. This provides digital resources to help investors and companies measure, manage, and report on their impact in alignment with global standards. Its tools are specifically designed to assess real additionality and impact across various sectors. If you search for Sustainable Finance Disclosure Regulation, or SFDR, there are tools there. You will find various platforms and services have emerged there also to help financial institutions comply with the SFDR requirements, which include reporting on the sustainability risks and impacts of investments. Let's look at tools and KPIs for reporting and benchmarking. Well, the UK government's Green Finance Initiative, for example, provides guidance and tools aimed at promoting green finance and sustainability reporting among UK businesses and financial institutions, which is a useful good practice guide for EU-based businesses to follow. In the EU, there's the EU taxonomy tool developed by the European Union to classify economic activities that can be considered environmentally sustainable. It helps investors identify and report on investments aligned with local, national, and EU sustainable development objectives. The European Investment Bank's ESG Toolkit is another example, offering tools and guidelines for integrating ESG factors into investment decision making and reporting, tailored for EU financial institutions and investors. We have explored key frameworks and discussed the importance of transparent CSR reporting and highlighted essential digital tools which are easily accessible to organisations operating across the EU, from ESG ratings and impact measurement tools to compliance with sustainability regulations. These resources are designed to enhance your ability to make informed decisions and benchmark your performance against best practice standards in the world and across Europe. Remember, the ethical investment journey is ongoing. By leveraging tools like these and good practice, you can drive meaningful change and uphold high standards of transparency and contribute positively to both your organisation and the wider community. Thank you for participating in today's webinar. I hope you found these insights valuable as you navigate the complexities of ethical investing and impact measurement. But it's worth it. It's worth it for you and your reputation, and it's worth it for your stakeholders, and it's worth it for society and humanity more generally. Okay, everyone. Thank you for bearing with that. We're now going to move to discussion, open discussion, and the first point over to other colleagues here in Ireland and in Spain and Italy. Do you have examples, not necessarily of sophisticated online tools like those we've shared in that short piece of video, but perhaps local tools or resources that organizations that you know are using to manage their CSR? So if you know a company or an organization that's doing CSR in your region, how do they actually measure that?
So during the last meeting, I shared with you the one of the experiences that I shared with you was Banca Etica. That means ethical bank. That sounds like an oxymoron, as we said, but it's actually a very good example of corporate social responsibility, and it's indeed an ethical bank because they avoid to to invest on weapons, on ludopathy, on like fossil, like oil and other fossil sources of energy and other criteria. And going straight to the question, they have a very interesting example of a local tool that is not an online tool, it's not a digital tool, but it's called JIT. That is the acronym for Gruppo di Iniziativa Territoriale. That means like territorial initiative groups. And those are a participatory governance model through local assemblies, which allow members to have a say in strategic decisions. So those local initiative groups are territorial groups in each territory, and there are many and many across the entire country in Italy that promote and monitor the bank's activities, both at the local level and the wider level, contributing to CSR management through initiatives on the ground. These local groups are directly linked with local communities. So they allow the corporate social responsibility and in general policies of the bank to be very directly linked on the territory. And moreover, they are committed in this other tool that is this ethical social rating. So those groups are involved by the bank to evaluate the projects and the financing that the bank gives to the people or to companies, not only from a quantitative side, but also for a ethical and social impact measurement. So this tool of the local initiative group JIT is very interesting to me, and I also had the opportunity to work with them, with the JIT, and they are involved in every matter. For example, I organized an event against the war, and they were involved. They bring people and also interventions and talks, and so they are really connected to the territories, and then they create the linking between the bank as an institution and the territories, and also evaluate the project on the ground.
Very interesting, thank you. Joe English from Meath County, head of enterprise in Meath County in Ireland. Hello, Joe, you have raised your hand.
Yeah, hi everybody. It's an old program that is still actually quite active in Ireland, which is the Plato program that some of the people here might be familiar with. And it was a program. It was a very early corporate social responsibility program developed in Belgium, which we took into Ireland. Conor was one of the first involved in it. And it was designed for small companies to work with large multinational companies. And the large multinational companies would give the use of some of their senior executives to the small companies, maybe once a month for an evening, and to discuss business problems, business opportunities, to talk about management development, and to try and bring some of the expertise that resides in some of the large multinational companies to help small companies develop their own business. It was quite a formal program. It would run for a 2-year period, so you would recruit maybe 10 senior managers from large corporations to work with up to maybe 100 small businesses over a period of 2 years. And during that time, we would measure quite carefully the additional business the small businesses would get, maybe new leads, maybe new opportunities, or maybe increased turnover over the period. So it was quite a formal program, but it worked extremely well, and it was easily replicated in different regions in the country.
That's an excellent example, Joe. I seem to remember, we will look at this and confirm whether it's still operational in Belgium, but I seem to remember it was a development agency in Ghent, Gomov, I think they were called, and it would be interesting to see, does that initiative still survive, because it did lead to significant development opportunities for small businesses who were able to benefit from expertise in terms of marketing, financial management, and so on, at a level that they wouldn't have been able to buy in, because some of these employees in the big companies were the best at that time in the market. So that's a brilliant example, Joe. Thank you.
One of the managers who I actually met yesterday from Cork, a guy called JJ O'Connell, he used to refer to it as like a mini MBA for small companies.
Is there anybody in Spain, any colleagues in Spain might have something to offer?
Yes.
Hi, Adriana.
Hi, everyone. I want to talk about a tool from Xunta de Galicia. Like as Roxana and I said in the last webinar, they are quite committed to the corporate social responsibility. So they developed a tool that is online and completely free for all companies. And this platform allows them to assess the status of their organization and report on initiatives and indicators related to the corporate social responsibility. It's quite easy to use, and it has a lot of different questionnaires for a different kind of reports, like the Xunta de Galicia report about this, and the ODS or the SDG report, and it's quite easy, and a lot of companies use it here.
Thanks, Adriana. I think I'll move on to the next theme. So in terms of online tools, and this is just to add to the conversation to, I suppose, sharpen it a little. Are there tools online? And this, I won't necessarily go around all the regions. This is just an open ask of you all. Do you know of effective online tools that we've missed that measure impact, ethical investment impact? Anyone?
Sorry, I was studying the case of Banca Etica for this purpose of our meeting, and both for the work that I'm doing with them. And as an online tool, first of all, I'm not so aware. We are not so aware on online tools. It's not exactly something that it's easy to find out. But what I was taking a look on is this tool of Banca Etica that is called ESG monitoring, that it's environmental, social, governance monitoring. And it's a bunch of indicators related to environmental, social, and governance matters that are that is an online tool that is spread and shared with with all the customers and the associated people of Banca Etica, where everyone can add data, and most of all, where everyone can look at the indicator and the results of, I don't know, CO2 emission reduction, social inclusion, sustainable job creation, that are all those measures that are analyzed and collected. And they use it as for a transparency purpose. They want that their policies and their data to be transparent and to share it with their customers.
Is that a tool only available to customers, or is that a tool that any citizen could go online and look at? Do you know?
As far as I know, everyone can take a look, but they have different policies in general between associated people. I mean, Banca Etica is a cooperative bank, so the customers are invited to be part of the bank, so to be shareholders of the bank, paying a very small amount, because each customer and each associated should pay something like 200 euros to have a little portion of actions of the capital of the bank.
Thank you. Joe, your hand had gone up. Has it come back down, or had you?
It's quite a small intervention, but it's one I was exposed to some time ago on family business and succession planning, which is a big problem for small businesses. Again, small businesses is my business, and some of the large accountancy firms have developed a tool that they use when they're working with small businesses, and they're doing it on a pro bono basis. And what they do is they have 15 questions of a survey that they give to the owner manager of a small company, but also they give to typically other family members, if it's a family business. And the survey asks questions like, how prepared are you if a catastrophic event happens to the general manager of the company? And they ask the questions of the general manager, and they ask the questions of the other family members, and they really do try to match up. So they go on a scale of 1 to 5 on how ready are you. 5 is very ready, 1 is not ready. And they look at the different responses from the family members who are involved in the business. And typically they will find that whoever the leader in the company is, and it's that leader will say, oh, there'll be a lot of 5s, and maybe the spouse of that partner, there'll be a lot of 1s and 2s answers, because they may not know, they may not have access to bank accounts, they may not know how to pay salaries, they may not know they may not have access to bank accounts and so forth. So what the accountancy firms do is they take basically the results of that, and they work with the company, and then after a period of 3 months they do the survey again, and they look at the results, and that gives them a good feeling for the progress that they've made with that company. So it's a very, very small intervention, but it can be critical for small family businesses.
And that's another transfer of knowledge from large, in many cases, global management consultancy firms to micro and small businesses, in essence. Yeah, because and as we know, Joe, I think the statistic is that over 90% of businesses that are family owned pass out of the ownership of the family by the time the 3rd generation is inheriting the hard work of the previous 2 generations. And in fact, there's a significant attrition from the 1st generation to the next generation, even at that level. That's right, isn't it? And it's a major issue across Europe.
Yeah, it's a huge issue across Europe. It's particularly a big issue in Ireland in the farming community at the moment, because a lot of farmers, or a lot of sons and daughters of farmers, are not really interested in taking over a farm. So you may have a thriving farm, but what happens for when it comes time to hand over? So it is a big issue.
I think we'll move on. Everyone, thank you. That is, have you examples? Can you provide examples of tools or key performance indicators that your organizations in your region use for CSR reporting or benchmarking?
I'd like to go forward with the example of Banca Etica that I've studied, and the key performance indicators that they use to measure and improve corporate social responsibility policies are four, and are the number of projects financed with a positive impact. So an indicator that they use is the number of projects that are financed by the bank that have a direct impact on the local communities and on the environment. So projects related to renewable energies, education, schooling, social inclusion, and as they are evaluated from the local groups. Then the amount of CO2 emissions reduction. So they have these indicators that is related to the measurement of environmental impact, and they monitors the contribution on its investment to reducing emissions. And the percentage of clients from the non-profit or cooperative organization, because Banca Etica is stricto sensu, is strictly related to the field of social economy. The bank born in 1999 on the wave of the social global forum and all the movements that are spreading around during that period of protest against the neoliberalistic system. So they were created by a cooperative effort. They created a cooperative that was named Cooperativa Verso Banca Etica. That means cooperative towards Banca Etica. So the promoters started going everywhere in Italy with their backpack, talking to everyone on the necessity to have a communitarian bank. So they asked all the cooperatives working with social economy fields, education, inclusion, organic farming, and so on. They asked for money because to create a bank, they need, I don't know, but something like 2.5 million euros. That was in lire at that time. The bank born with when euro wasn't there yet. So they created this bank with a lot of cooperatives and so on. And right now they still are a reference for all these cooperative world for the social economy. And so the percentage of customers, of clients from the non-profit or organization sector or cooperative organization is an indicator that measures the alignment with the bank missions to support the project that are meant to be supported. And then another indicator is the economic impact on the local communities. So Banca Etica assesses the indirect impact of its economic activities on value creation in local communities, such as the creation of sustainable jobs or strengthening of local economies.
Excellent, thank you, Fabio. Adriana, I think I see you with your hand up and all the way from Spain. Thank you.
Yes. I just want to say that here in Galicia, a lot of companies uses the tool that I talk about because it is a free online service and is universally available. It's like the case of Coren, is a cooperative and is one of the largest agri-food cooperatives in Spain and is based in Galicia, in Ourense. And this tool has improved their sustainability practices, especially in areas like animal welfare, energy efficiency, and environmental management. And also there are other companies that uses other tools, other international tools like Coupa Group, that is a Galician slate company, and they use EcoVadis. And they won an award using this tool because they were placed in the top 5 companies evaluated globally and in the top 4% within the mining sector. And this recognition reflects their commitment to integrate sustainable practices and in their operations.
Okay, everyone. Well, on that note, we'll move on. Thank you. So to conclude this session, I just want to thank everyone for their participation in all of our World Cafe series seminars. We've tried to take a novel approach to this with a mix of pre-recorded thoughts, insights from people that have practice experience, share them with you online, and then have an online discussion. One of our discussions was a live discussion where colleagues from Spain and Italy came to Ireland and we met in person. And thanks for everyone that was prepared to make that commitment and travel here. Thanks to all of you that have joined us online across all of these events, these seminars. There have been 6 in total. So I'm just going to leave all of you with the online links for each of the tools that we covered today, that I covered in my presentation. The FTSE Russell ESG ratings platform, all of these are useful. This is useful as a prompt. You can use it directly, but you may want to take the best of from each of these to frame into your own bespoke tool, which is how we see ourselves using it, as opposed to necessarily putting ourselves through all of the questions on all of these tools, because not all of them are relevant. The GRI standards tool, that's the online link, the address online for that tool. The impact management project, it can be accessed via the impact management platform.org website. And then the SFDR compliance tool, there's actually 3 of these we've come across and we've trialed and tested and found them very useful. There's clarity.ai, there's esgbook.com, and there's novata.com. We mentioned the UK government Green Finance Initiative. And while the UK is no longer a part of the EU, some of its practice is useful to look at. It's well structured, well put together, and this certainly is this green finance strategy. And again, there are advices within this website as to how best to pursue a green agenda as part of your CSR. And then alongside that, or complementing what the UK has been doing, there's the European Commission's taxonomy tool and the resources within that website, which is sustainable-finance-taxonomy as part of the Europa EU website. The impact management project, its resources, again, this is a European Investment Bank initiative. So if you look up eib.org and then within the search bar on that website, type in impact management project, you'll come on what it offers up as tools, again, very helpful. So I just want again to thank you. This is the last time we'll come together to do this, but no doubt we'll meet on other initiatives as well. We continue to collaborate in many ways together as colleagues. Some of you I've known before, others not, and it's been a privilege to work with all of you on this initiative. So thank you for your participation, and hopefully we'll meet again. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank
Connor.
you.
Thank you. Bye.